TIFU when I found a 3-carat diamond on the street and just gave it to the nearest NYPD officer. I found a 3-carat diamond on 5th Avenue today and just gave it to the nearest NYPD officer. I was walking in NYC near the Diamond District and saw an envelope fall out of someone's pocket. I went to pick it up and return it, but the original owner had slipped away. The envelope was small, about half the size of an index card, but thick, and had a jeweler's name on it. So I opened it and there was a handwritten receipt for a 2.7-carat diamond. There were a few other papers folded up inside sure enough. One of them felt a bit lumpy, and I opened it to reveal a stunning loose diamond. Instead of being elated by my find, I instead panicked. I wanted this thing out of my possession as soon as possible. I wanted nothing to do with the consequences of which there could have been many. Organized crime? Getting arrested? My mind was racing all over the place. The envelope had a phone number of a local diamond business on it. I probably should have called it, but then realized I had no way of knowing if they had owned it, or maybe had sold it and it was dropped by a customer. I found 2 policemen on 47th Street and handed it over to them. They asked a few questions about how it came into my possession. Recorded on body cam, supposedly. And I went on my way. I now feel like a schmuck for giving it to the cops on the street. They are probably keeping it for themselves. One of them said it was worth $40,000. I could not keep it in good conscience. But at least I should have either called a lawyer, called the number on the envelope, or walked to the precinct to submit a finder's claim in case the owner was never found. TLDR, I just handed $40,000 to an NYPD officer. Edit for grammar. NYPD's IAB runs sting ops against their own guys fairly often. They'll literally have some undercover IAB guy walk up to a beat cop and go, "Hey, I found this wallet with $100, and they'll jam up the cop if they don't report it. So while it's not 100%, if you plainly walked up to a patrol cop and handed him an expensive-looking diamond, there's a fair chance he reported it. Did you know that these days a lot of diamonds have microscopic serial numbers etched on them? Both to prevent pawning after theft and to prove their origin is from an ethical source. If you tried to sell it, you could have landed in hot water. Of course not all of them do, but it's entirely possible. You did the right thing, but need to get a grip on that imagination of yours. My guess is that the individual who lost it was a salesman for a jewelry store, and he had just picked that diamond up from another business to show to a prospective customer. Early in my insurance career, we had a number of clients in the Diamond Building in a major city. This was an old 10 or so story building that housed 3,040 different jewelers. One day we were with the owner of one of the stores in the back room reviewing insurance. There is a knock on a back door, and when the owner opened it, a salesman from another store walked in and said something along the lines of, "I need pear-shaped 1.5 2.5 carats VVS for a customer." The owner opened a drawer, grabbed a box of 50 or so diamonds, pulled out 34 stones, dropped them in a little paper envelope like you described, and the guy was gone. No paperwork, no handshake, just business. I'm sure that these guys all did it because they could never have enough in inventory to satisfy any customer who walked in. Someday I may tell the story about the golf ball-sized diamond that I insured as it was sent across country, but that is for another day. My cousin was a diamond broker from Antwerp. He would routinely have $250,000 worth of loose stones wrapped up like this in his pocket. It's just how they transport the diamonds. It really isn't a big deal to them, except if you try to steal from them. Although I'm sure losing one is pretty bad. The markup on them is incredible too. When I was 10, I was out riding bikes with my sister. We were crossing a busy intersection when something shiny caught my eye. Turns out to be a thick gold ring with a diamond, like a man's wedding band. We argued amongst ourselves what to do. Was it real? If so, it must be worth thousands. Can we sell it and split the money? Innocence prevailed. We showed our mom, and we turned it into the police. Police took a report and said if it remained unclaimed for 30 days we could come back to get it. Since the adults took us seriously, it must be real. The countdown was on. About 2 weeks later, we stopped at the gas station after church and saw a handwritten sign on the store window. Lost man's ring. Very sentimental. Reward if found, with a picture of the ring and a phone number. Mom had me call. I was shy and terrified, but let them know I think I found the ring, and which police station we gave it to. 2 days later, the man came to our house to say thanks and gave us $50. He suspects what happened was, he was doing car maintenance and took his ring off for whatever reason. Set it on the car and forgot. The intersection I found the ring is where he turns left during his daily commute. The end. You didn't lose anything. You didn't gain anything. You broke even. Now the person who lost the diamond, that's another story. A few months ago I was in Rome. Ground zero for property theft, when I came across a really expensive motorcycle chained to a wall. But right under the motorcycle was what appeared to be the wallet and keychain of the person who owned it. The keychain had what appeared to be car keys, house keys, office keys, and presumably, the keys to the lock and the motorcycle. It looked like it fell out of someone's pocket as they bent over to lock the chain. I didn't want anyone to steal it, so I just kind of blocked the view of the keys and wallet, hoping the owner would soon return, while my wife implored me to not get involved. Suddenly, a couple of Rome cops came walking down the street. After not running across a beat cop for days, there were plenty of traffic and venue police around, but no street cops. It seems like divine intervention to run into a couple of partners walking their beat. I tried to get their attention, but because I am the most obviously American tourist in the universe and don't speak Italian, they tried to ignore me, probably thinking I was going to ask for directions or for them to take a picture of me with the historic site in the background. Yes, I saw tourists try to get police to take their pictures. Fortunately, after aggressive calling and gesturing, they saw what I was trying to show them and their attitude changed completely. Like your poor diamond losing counterpart. I am sure that there is some Italian playboy who is grateful that the police safeguarded his motorcycle. And I am equally sure that the police returned the diamond you turned in. You can confirm this by asking the duty officer of the precinct covering the area where you found the diamond. Just call them and tell them who you are and why you're calling, and they'll confirm what happened to the diamond. You can also leave them your contact information and let them give it to the person who owned the diamond. They would have the option of contacting you to thank you and confirm that the diamond got back to them. I do recommend that you circle back to the precinct to do that, and communicate to the officer that you are just looking to confirm the diamond got back the its owner and you're not looking for a reward. Don't be surprised if someone reaches out to you to thank you. Being able to look at yourself in mirror in the morning and to fall asleep at night with peace. That's what your act of honesty brings you. If it was a dirty cop, let the stress filthy money brings add to his karma. You make this world a better place. I feel for you, bro. I once found a fully jeweled up Pandora bracelet, $1,000 plus, and turned it into LaGuardia College security. 2 weeks later I followed up to see if they found the owner and they said they can't disclose that information. I have a bad feeling that they just lost it. You can also inform the jeweler that you found it and handed it over to the NYPD. I'm waiting for the post, TIFU, and dropped a 3-carat diamond in NYC. You did the right thing. If it makes you feel any better, I once handed over a ton of cash. Walking behind a woman, and this envelope just fell out of her purse, and it was just stacks of hundreds. Tried to chase her down but couldn't catch her. Turned it over to a cop on the street. It happened almost 20 years ago and I still wonder about it. Why would you call a lawyer? To invoke the Constitution's finders keepers, losers weepers clause? You'll sleep well knowing you did right. You can't lose something that isn't yours. Don't look at it as a foo, as if you lost 40K. If it was recorded on body cam, then those cops are obligated to report it. But if they don't, then let karma do its work. You are a good, honest person. Hopefully your good deed will be paid back many times over. Report it. If he didn't report it, he's in trouble. If he did turn it in and nobody claims it, you can claim it as your, as long as the owner didn't. Report it missing before your time claim is up. A few years ago, a cleaner in an airport found 10K in a bag in a planter. He turned it in, and since nobody claimed it, he was now 10K richer. Must have been a drug deal or money laundering scheme that backfired. That is, unless the cop pocketed it. Hope you got his name and badge number. You should have gotten a report too. I wouldn't think a cop would keep it to themselves in such a situation. Especially when there were two. I would say you handled it perfectly. Maybe I'm naive. Also, I'm not American. The owner just slipped away.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.